So I'm Sean, and a number of you got to hear my story yesterday, but I wanted to tell it from a little bit of a different angle today, and that's about the people that have been along my ePatient journey. And that starts with my parents. My dad, as an engineer and a pilot, taught me to embrace the impossible. And I know when we took a trip up to San Francisco when I was a young teenager, we visited the Tech TV studios, and I was enamored with tech startups. I met Kevin Rose, a founder of a tech startup, while I was in the studios waiting there. And I took that sort of tech startup spark, and I brought it back to my high school. And without the tech part, founded a ping pong club that swept through the school. And that was like my first immersion in startups. But like behind the scenes, like I was this kid that was like super skinny and was like suffering from a chronic condition inside, and that was Crohn's disease. I had a really hard time keeping on weight and finding treatments that would work well for me. But when I went to UC Berkeley, I found myself in the company of many other patients that also had tried lots of different treatments and had lots of patient knowledge built up from their experience. And that was an eye-opening process for me. But after graduating school, I followed that initial passion that I had, which is to go into tech startups. So with some friends, I co-founded a startup, and we started making iPhone apps that could allow you to send messages to people in the same location, and we went on TechCrunch and had 2,000 downloads overnight. But like behind the scenes, like I was back, the thing that I really enjoyed most was like meeting with these other patients that had the same condition that I had. And it wasn't about sending some photo or some message to someone. These were like real problems of sharing knowledge with other patients that I felt like there wasn't an adequate solution for. We were doing this in person, but there might be a better way to scale this to the world of sharing knowledge from patient to patient. And so I picked up my pen and I picked up my computer and decided that's where I wanted to apply this tech startup idea to. And how can I create a vast network of patients throughout the world that can share treatments that have worked well for them, that you can connect in a private community that is safe, where you can learn from one another. And at the same time, I had the good fortune to meet Leslie of Rock Health and Hallie of Rock Health. And they had this startup incubator for health startups at this exact same time. So I talked to them, and out of 300 applicants that applied, they decided to bring me on as an EIR. And then I ran into this guy named Larry Chu, amazing guy, who connected me with this amazing documentary filmmaker, Theo Rigby. And they did an ePatient profile of me for 6 minutes that's on our website today. I took that sort of early progress and made a post to the social news site called Hacker News about my building of this website called Chronology, and it quickly hit number 2 on that news site. My friend from college, Will, saw this posting because it was going all over the web and said, "Congratulations." I emailed him back and said, "Come down and join me." And so he did. And we created Healthy Labs as a means to spread Chronology to many other conditions. We applied for Berkeley Skydeck, which is this startup space for UC Berkeley alumni. And out of 50 applicants that applied to that, there were 3 that got in that we were fortunate to be one of. But meanwhile, behind the scenes, I'm completely broke. I'm $15,000 in credit card debt because I've dedicated myself to programming, and I come home at night and I would program in my car and fall asleep in my car. No, a lot of you guys didn't know that. and then we got an email back from this wonderful startup incubator in the South Bay called Y Combinator. And Paul Buchheit, the founder of Gmail, thought our idea was something that could change the world. So they accepted Will and I into their program. And then that gave us the ability to take this concept of this ecosystem of patients sharing with other patients and fully flesh it out. So we have health tracking on your mobile phone that uploads to a mobile dashboard, which feeds into a treatment database so people can learn from the real-time symptoms of other patients. And on top of that sits a Q&A platform so patients can share structured knowledge around already structured treatments. And a robust social platform creates the emotional connection and the desire to engage. And then we received the angel investment by Kevin Rose, that guy that I met in the Tech TV studio when I was a teenager coming up to San Francisco. And that enabled us to bring on as a full-time hire our good friend Sarah. And then we also had gotten a lot of great press in some great magazines, in print in ink, and in print in magazines like the Crohn's Advocate and a local newspaper paper called the Dandelion. So that's my ePatient story and the people that have helped along the way. Thank you.